let's talk about what makes this box behind me the most beautiful, over-engineered, and currently the most technologically advanced plyometric box that money can buy. The too long didn't watch of it is, you can clearly see what's different. Rounded rubber corners to help protect from those awful hits to the shin when you're fatigued and inevitably mess up. But let's get into more detail than just that. So this, of course, is just a box, which is both what's so mundane and amazing about it. Mundane because a box is a box, but it's amazing because it's an improvement on a box. As a pat nerd, to me, that's wild to find something novel and innovative on a freaking box. Now, this box has a $275 price tag, which is over double what you can get a traditional box for and a bit more than a foam box. So is it worth the uptick? I can't answer that for you. It's like asking if a Yeti cooler is worth it. I'll say that I appreciate the company, the design, and durability, and others would say a cooler is just a cooler and paying the premium is insane or just plain dumb. Your opinion is your own, and we're going to differ. What I can do in this video is just lay out some facts to help make sure you've reached the right opinion, just like in all my other review videos. By the way, if you end up liking this video, how about throwing me a like and a subscribe if you want to see more content like this? I'd appreciate it. Okay, we're going to talk about the box, but stay with me because I think understanding the company is an important aspect about understanding their product. And the more I know about a company and like what I see, the more likely I'm going to give them my money. I had the opportunity to chat with this gentleman for quite some time before he finally revealed himself to be a founder and CEO of RPM Training, Shane Rogers. In my interactions with him, he's been incredibly personable and humble and very driven and curious as to how he can make the best fitness products possible. And he's an industrial engineer with a pretty decent resume. Knowing all this, it makes sense if he's going to make a jump rope, it's going to be the best engineered jump rope. And if he's going to make a box, it's going to be one of the highest detail and quality. And that's what RPM does with all of their products. This Cali-based company makes great looking equipment that is durable, functional, and elegantly designed, with some of it being made here right in the US of A, including this box. Just look at the kettlebells, the dumbbells, and my personal favorite, their best-selling jump rope. I also reviewed that, so go check that one out too. It's so good, in fact, that I've had mine stolen while setting it down at a public Globo gym. I've also gifted my personal RPM jump rope to people, so I recently bought my 6th one. They also have a new innovative pull-up bar that I'll be reviewing in an upcoming video, so subscribe to see that one too. So now we know the man behind the vision, a bit about the company, let's talk about the box. We all know the dimensions, 30 by 24 by 20 inches. Of course, the size needs to be the standard. Now what's not different and what's the innovative part is a couple things. Number one, that I mentioned earlier, is the smooth, rounded rubber edges, and number two, the accessibility for interior storage. Something very interesting for people like myself with a home gym with limited space. First off, number one, rounded, no sharp edges, and all the hardware that connects together all the parts of the box is hidden behind the rubber edges. It creates seamless lines all around the box and protects the joints and weak parts for increased durability. The key word here is seamless, with no bumps along the seams between the wood panels and rubber components. To me, a design is impressive if it just doesn't seem impressive, if that makes sense. What I mean is, if it looks simple, I'm sure it took quite a bit of engineering to reach that point. Now we can take a look at a traditional well-used box for another look at the difference. The weakest parts of the traditional wooden boxes are going to be at the joints and where the screws are inserted and where we sometimes land. As the box deteriorates, screws become exposed, and now we're talking some potential injury issues, especially to our shins, or as their patent puts it, harm to your clothing. Now, side note, I don't think I've ever seen anyone get their clothing caught on a box. Not saying it can't happen, but it seems to just be one of those additional arguments you make to a patent examiner who probably has never used a plyo box, making a lot of assumptions there, just to show how more different and innovative your product is. That's how you write a patent, just laying out as many arguments as possible. But the injury argument is definitely a valid one. For me, out of probably the tens of thousands of box jumps I've done, I've only hit my shin a few times. But I'll tell you, those few times when you're fatigued or just simply misjudge your jump, you'd wish like hell you had this box. Still gonna hurt, but just not as bad. Now, some of you could be saying, well, how about foam boxes? Now we're getting to a closer price point to this. And my personal opinion of foam boxes, I don't like them. When I'm doing a workout with a bunch of box jumps, the foam material seems to absorb too much of the energy and I feel like I'm sinking into the box, whereas a more rigid surface on a wooden box, I feel more springy. To me, this makes sense. It's similar to how running shoes work. The foam is meant to absorb much of the energy to reduce harm on the joints. And As the foam boxes age, the foam deteriorates. And I don't want my gym equipment to have a shelf life. So what was needed was some sort of hybrid, and that's what this box is. The rigidity of a wooden box with the injury prevention of a foam box. Now to point number 2, the interior storage. I actually have never used this functionality until recently. I've got way too many toys in my garage, and plyo boxes take up a ton of space. I actually used to have another wooden one, and I pretty much had to give it away just to make room. Now my one gripe is the lack of convenience of the interior storage. I wish there was a quicker way to access the interior rather than to have to use an Allen key. There'd be some pros and cons to this, I'm sure, as it'd probably add to the cost of manufacture to add another embedded turnkey or something. Even a hinge of some sort on the metal panel would be nice, but hey, I'm a person who switched from biochemistry from engineering, so what do I know? For the most part, I pretty much just leave the faceplate off, and now I've got a metal decor piece in the gym. Just remember, I can't use that side of the box. Some other things to add about the box is the rubber adds additional grip to the ground to keep the box in place. I used to work out in a very humid South Florida. It's also very humid here in Austin, Texas. And I've had the box move when I came at it at an angle, which isn't the greatest feeling. Also, very comfortable handles all around for easy maneuverability, something you don't have on foam or wooden boxes. I mean, wooden boxes do have handles, but it's not as comfortable as the protected handles on this box. And that's it. Again, we've got rubber rounded corners to prevent injury that also hides the connection hardware to prevent exposure. And we've got interior storage. And also, it's a pretty plyo box. So if aesthetics is important to you in your gym, that's another tick in the pro column. That's it for this one. So again, if you liked it, hit that like button. If you loved it, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know in the comments if there's any other things, questions about the box, any other things you want me to review, any science-based facts, anything I want to talk about, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.